I'm Steve Autry, and I'm standing on the site of what will become our new mission center at Denver United Methodist Church.
And I'm Dennis Lee, and I am the chairperson of our efforts to help make this vital ministry dream become a reality.
As you recall, we were almost to the finish line with our Right Now campaign, which we began during the early weeks of 2020.
However, with only a little over 2 weeks before a commitment Sunday of March 29th, we, along with the rest of our state, entered into quarantine.
During those highly uncertain days, stopping the Right Now campaign was the right thing to do. Right now simply could not happen right then. And we shifted our focus to figuring out online worship, online Bible studies, and how to best meet the needs of our community through our feeding programs and with our partnerships with local schools to help our community's most vulnerable students.
In some ways, that seems like such a long time ago. But what we have learned during this age of COVID-19 is that God is faithful and that you all continue to support the ministries of this church in amazing ways. Your generosity has allowed our church to thrive through these difficult times, and instead of having to cut ministry efforts, we have actually been able to increase our influence in Denver. This is an amazing testament to God's goodness and your faithful response to that goodness.
What we have learned is that God is faithful, especially in challenging times. And we have a church family that is excited and ready to increase our ability to be in ministry to our community.
This is why right now is the time for us to get back to right now, as we seek to raise the needed ministry dollars to build a new mission center and pay off our existing debt.
I imagine some of you may not be saying right now, but right now? I get the apprehension, but I also know that the response God desires is to hear a resounding yes. I believe more than ever that God is calling us to move from right now to even now.
The prophet Joel provides us with a good word in this regard. The people of Israel had been through a horrific time and they were losing hope. Joel names the problem they have, but he does not allow problems to set the agenda for their future. He tells them, "Yet even now, rend your hearts and not your clothing."
What the prophet Joel is saying is that now is not the time for woe is me. He is asking them to come along with God and see that God is the one bringing a better day.
That same God is our God who is calling us to join with Him in building the kingdom, right now, even now, especially now.
Beginning September 13th, we will focus our attention on a 3-week sermon series dedicated to God's call to us to move forward even now. More information is on the way, so be on the lookout in your inbox, your mailbox, and online. We have updated the Right Now resources with new material to deal with our new reality. The scope of the project is clear. We will build this much-needed mission center. We will pay off our existing debt, and we will put any additional resources towards the interior renovations that were part of the original plan.
Here and now, right now, even now, let's get this done for the sake of God and God's call to Denver UMC to be a harbor of hope in a chaotic world as we seek to know God, build meaningful relationships, and unleash compassion.
Right now, even now, is the time for us to move forward with God's dream.